Joe Rogan says Tucker Carlson could become president. Let's listen.
Yeah, I guess you would probably have at least an idea of how you would do it differently and better. He's also got a very popular voice. Like if he decided to run for president, like say if Trump, let's just make a scenario. Trump wins in 2024. He has 4 years. If Tucker went to run in 2028, he could win. He really could win because it would be kind of carrying those policies, but also he's a sort of a no nonsense guy who exposes bullshit in a pretty humorous way, in a very insightful and biting way. And that's what he was really good at on his television show. Yeah. And he red pilled a lot of left wing people. There's a lot of left wing people during.
What does red pill mean again? I forget. The red and
the
blue. The red one
awakened.
is the what again?
Okay, so you remember the Matrix?
One.
And the blue pill is you go right back to sleep, nothing happened. It's famous from the Matrix, but I just want to throw this out here. That reference also goes back to Total Recall when Quaid was given the pill to wake up from his adventure on Mars. So the pill, the red pill, is always to wake up to reality. So just wanted to come on, Cohagen, give those people air.
They offer you what?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, they offer you either the red pill or the blue pill. And I say take both because hey, free pills.
So Joe is saying here, Joe Rogan that is, he's saying here that Tucker Carlson, I guess, has such a crossover appeal. He has red pill. That means awaken them. Red pilled a lot of leftists. Now, I would say most of us here would consider ourselves leftists. Have any of you can speak to Tucker Carlson sort of awakening you to anything that he's spoken about?
No, what I actually find interesting is instead of maybe Tucker Carlson giving the red pill to leftists, I would say the guests that been on Tucker Carlson's show, we was on Fox, gave Tucker Carlson a new perspective, like Jimmy Dore, Tulsi Gabbard, Dr. Cornel West, Max Blumenthal, Glenn Greenwald, yes, all these people. And the thing is, okay, what would a normal Fox News host do, like Glenn Beck or maybe even Bill O'Reilly? They would dismiss those people or talk down to them or make sure they wouldn't have a platform. Tucker let his guests talk. And overall, he said, okay, well, you changed my mind. For example, first name Julian, last name A. I don't want to get you guys in trouble or anything like that. But, he changed his mind about that. Then he's also has gone on the record saying, hey, I was wrong about the war in Iraq. A lot of it's okay. Hey, if Tucker Carlson's waking up to that fact and is bringing people awareness to other issues like, okay, hey, conservatives, Republicans, libertarians, look at this perspective. He's able to reach out to other people. And to me, it's not odd to think that maybe Tucker Carlson could successfully run for president. I mean, Trump pulled it off. Trump successfully won, and he has 81 million plus supporters. Tucker Carlson has all of his viewing audience. Fox News, while it's not tanking like CNN, Tucker took his audience with him, and he has a broad appeal to people, and he will listen to the other side. We may not change his mind on every issue, and I don't agree with him on all issues, but I know I could have a conversation with him. And I also know this: he knows about issues that are appealing to voters as a whole. So after Trump, I've made this promise to myself, never to underestimate anybody. Tucker Carlson could probably be far more successful than Donald Trump could be.
Wow, so we may have some differences of opinion. I'm curious to see if we do on this, not necessarily with me, but just the guests that I have. When I hear what Kit says here, so I'm curious. But let's continue with the video, and then we will get more commentary. I'm gonna rewind it just a little bit, just for context here.
Policy, but also he's a sort of a no-nonsense guy who exposes bullshit in a pretty humorous way, in a very insightful and biting way. And that's what he was really good at on his television show.
Yeah.
And he red-pilled a lot of left-wing people. There's a lot of left-wing people during the pandemic that said Tucker Carlson's a propagandist and he's a piece of shit and is a right-wing asshole. And then as time went on, they're like,
can you have those beliefs and still think that his content can be good? I say yes,
course,
because
that's
that's
me.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
me.
That's me.
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he's a
everything
piece of
Joe
shit.
just said.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think he's
Go
a
ahead,
piece
Misty.
of
Go
shit,
ahead.
and I think that he sometimes covers things good. I mean, he's like the only person on mainstream media who would talk about Julian Assange on a regular basis. In fact, leading up to Trump leaving office, for that entire week, 5 days of his show, he dedicated every single day there was a guest on to talk about Julian Assange and trying to encourage Trump to give him a pardon. So obviously, I appreciate that aspect of it. But people, and yes, he could win the presidency for sure. We live in a clown world, and if the establishment wants him to be president, he could absolutely be president. But this is a guy with a history with the CIA. The idea that anybody trusts him is ridiculous. I think that he's a useful tool. I think that it's some of the stuff that he covers is good. Some of the stuff that he's been able to call attention to is good. I like the fact that he was willing to have, people like Max Blumenthal and Jimmy Dore on his show. There's a reason why he was allowed. He was chosen for that role. And anybody who has those kinds of connection and who is part of the club, which Tucker Carlson very much is part of the club, to me it's irrelevant. I don't, you know what I mean?
What connection does he have with the CIA?
He tried to get into the CIA.
Oh, that's what I heard.
He tried.
I'm pretty
to,
sure his
but-
dad was some kind of. Is that who I'm thinking of? Or hold on, let me.
Well, he tried to get in, but he didn't succeed. But also, another thing too about Tucker, the reason why he was able to do that show, is that he didn't have advertisers. So he didn't have people breathing down his neck. The only reason why he was kicked off of Fox News is because he was the one who was talking about the Dominion voting machines, and and even again, it's really being exaggerated just what he was saying about them, because he was like, hey, look, we need to look into this because the machines weren't working properly. It's not the first time we've heard of voting machines not working properly. Case in point, the 2016 and 2020 Democratic primaries, where if you were trying to vote for Bernie, especially most notably in the California primary, every time you clicked on Bernie's name, somebody else's name got clicked in. Cenk conveniently forgot that they did a documentary on what happened in California. And the thing is, what's funny is he was on the PBD podcast and said that there was no election fraud during the 2016 Democratic primary. The audacity of him to say that. And he forgot that he did a documentary video on what happened in California and how election fraud took place. It's the most hilarious thing ever. I know it's a little bit off subject, but I have to throw it out there, folks. People can never forget.
And yeah, his dad does have connections to the CIA too. So,
wow.
But yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm learning about
yeah,
Tucker.
because he
let's
just interviewed the Tate brothers, and I'm like, everybody's like, oh, this is cool, and I'm like, yeah, it's the CIA talking to the CIA. I mean, I don't understand what everybody's so excited about. Like, again, Tucker, he covers some stuff that is in a real way that other people don't fine. You can appreciate that while also understanding that he sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That was the question, and we agree on that. So let's continue the last 10 seconds here. Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Yes, I forgot.
One quick thing out. When Tucker Carlson is critical, when he had his Fox show, when he was critical of the Ukraine war and of the Pentagon, when he did center working class issues, I can't say that he was being really good. I can just say he was doing the job of a news person. That's what they all should be doing. So sometimes he did his job, and then sometimes he was a demagogue. I think Tucker Carlson is a racist. I think he's a sexist. I think he's an anti-queer bigot. And I'm not saying that as a virtue signaler. I'm saying it because marginalized communities are suffering. And every now and then you see clips of this. This guy would have stories about the alien invasion coming up from Mexico. So he also fed into some very dangerous narratives, which put marginalized communities in jeopardy. He may have done it less than the others, but that doesn't make him good. To the question of could he become president, I'll defer to Misty. Anything can happen in this clown world. I hope he doesn't.
Yeah, and I have the same general sort of outlook. I think he's all of what you described, but that doesn't disallow him to have good points or bring on good guests, as Misty states. So it's both.
Right.
It's both for me.
I'd
Go ahead
also
if
like
you were going to say something.
I'd also add in here too, like this is all speculation. Because look, you could be
Yeah.
president of the United States, but where's Tucker Carlson more powerful at? In his studio, speaking into a microphone. Because it's one thing to be president of the United States. Could he pull it off? Yeah, there's a 50-50 chance. I will not underestimate him. He does have an appeal. He does have a strong base. But he's far more powerful giving commentary, doing interviews than being president. And what does being president of the United States means? It means you're a puppet to Goldman Sachs. Be it Democrat or Republican, you know Goldman Sachs is going to be in the room with you, and they're going to have their hand up your wazoo. That's what's going to happen. And I don't think Tucker Carlson wants that because he's been able to operate his entire show without advertisers or people telling him what to do. So do you want to have more freedom or less? As president, you're more chained to the system, and you got to adhere to people with lots of money and a lot of special interests. So that's another thing to consider.
Okay, let's let him finish out, and then we can close out this particular segment.
And he red-pilled a lot of left-wing people. There's a lot of left-wing people during the pandemic that's like, Tucker Carlson's a propagandist and he's a piece of shit and is a right-wing asshole. And then as time went on, they were like, he's saying a lot of shit that's right. Like, why are they locking these tests? Why are they making kids wear masks? Like, is there any science to it?
Yeah, so that's his case for Tucker Carlson. Now, my take on going into this, I was like, there's no way this guy is so polarizing. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Donald Trump is Donald Trump. I'm like, Donald Trump is polarizing. So now I am thinking, based on this is an electoral college and the nonsense of propaganda, yeah, he probably could. Because I'm asking question. I'm asking the question: is do people think he's worse than Donald Trump? And no. So yeah, he could definitely. Those that hate him, do they think he's worse than Donald Trump? No, I would say no. They think Donald Trump is greatly worse than, if that's even a good phrase.
Trump just has no gift for subtlety. Tucker. He just like his mouth, he just spits shit. He says stuff he's not supposed to say, and he doesn't even realize he's not supposed to say it. Tucker knows the game a little bit better. He understands the system. He understands how it's played. And I think Trump is I think that's why they don't like Trump. He's just too difficult to control. We're going to go steal their oil. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to say that.
Yeah.
Hey, he told the truth. Why are we here?
That's why I liked Trump. I don't like Trump, but the one good thing about Donald Trump is he just ripped the mask right off. He just said it out loud. And there is some good to that. There is some good to the fact that he exposed that so heavily.